that's what this topic is going to be about. Sorry about my looks here. I'm at one of my rental properties where I'm trying to actually uh, invest. So there was tell you a quick story. My handyman has some issues. Couldn't come. So I have to work on this house. Hopefully we get it rented out here shortly. We have some about ready to sign. So I need to get this done. But I'm taking a quick break to tell you how I make bank buying cars. And I don't think a lot of people talk about the method that I'm going to talk about. So sorry about it being echoey in here. I'm in a bare room, but we'll try it. All right, how do you make bank buying a car? This is how I do it. So my first cars were really cheap back 20 years ago, 15 years ago. Buy them for $4,000, $5,000, $6,000, and drove them for a few years. I tried to drive them for about the amount. So if I spend $5,000 on a car back then, I tried to drive them for 5 years. So that was my goal. So that might sound kind of crazy to you, especially today as well. But let's just say you drive it for, let's say, $1,500 a year. Let's say if you bought it for $7,000, you drive it for 5 years, you're doing pretty well. I'm going to also assume that there's going to be about $1,000 for maintenance throughout the year and gas and insurance and title and all that good stuff. So maybe all in, minus the gas and maybe oil change, maybe all in $3,000 a year for my cars. That's all in. A lot of people though in the United States, they purchase their cars with debt. And when you do that, just like maybe you're doing that, you are spending, I don't know how much you're spending on your car debt. Tell me down below and then in the comments, please. If you're spending, $500, $1,000, $1,200 a month for your car, you're going to like this method, I hope at least, because it helps save tons of money towards your investments, like purchasing real estate, like what I'm doing right now. A lot of times I talk to my handyman or other people and like, oh, how can you afford all this stuff? It's like, well, all my life I've been very frugal. I've just been able to maneuver my money around so I have more money to invest in properties like where I'm in now. And so that's the power of this whole method. So I buy a car, let's say for $5,000, just to keep the math simple, keep it for 5 years. That's $1,000 a year for that car. I usually can sell that car after 5 years for, let's say, $3,000, pull that $3,000 out and go buy my next car. I buy my next car, maybe it's $6,000. So it goes half of that next car is paid for already. And then I'm only in for $3,000 for the next car. And if that lasts me 5 years, it's even better yet. If that lasts me, if I pay $7,000 and lasts me 5 years, that's like $1,000 in. So either way, it doesn't matter how you look at it. It's really good, especially compared to what? Compared to if you're taking out a loan for your car. Now, if you like new cars, this method's not going to work for you. But I think it will work for everyone who is willing to sacrifice. It's not really a sacrifice, by the way, but you can get some pretty nice cars. I mean, not like fancy, but just decent cars for fairly cheap. For example, I sold my wife had a Ford Focus, reliable car. It was a great car. We sold it for, I think it was $6,000 on the market. I had a Toyota Camry, sold it for $7,000 or $8,000 on Facebook Marketplace, both of them on Facebook Marketplace. Now, the Ford was during the hot when the vehicle markets were really, really hot. The Toyota Camry was when it went down a little bit. The Camry was definitely a better car, but both of them drove fine. Both of them were reliable. We liked both cars, and we would have kept both cars except for we had to get two new vehicles. One, we had to get a minivan, which split as my work truck for about a year. And then the second car when I sold my Camry is when I bought my work truck. And now we did have to use a minivan for the work truck. So you see how I'm thinking about this. I'm not just spending money on different things quickly. I'm slowing down. I'm not just buying my pickup truck because I think it looks cool, even though it does look cool. I'm buying it because I actually need it for stuff. I'm actually making money off that truck by using it at the properties. Okay, so if you notice, I gave you a lot of information within that whole conversation. I'm only buying vehicles that I actually need. The size, like a minivan. I have a family. We need a minivan. We need a pickup truck. I'm only buying these vehicles when I absolutely need it. I also talked about how I'm trading up to vehicles, to the newer vehicles, selling the old ones, using that money, go buy another one, and I pay with cash. Now, you might be spending, let's just say the average person spends $800 a month, just shooting from the hip. It's probably a fair amount for a car. So you spend $800 a month. Well, that's about 800 times 12 for 12 months. That's what, about $10,000 a year that you're spending for your vehicle. Let's say you keep that vehicle for 5 years, that's like $50,000. Versus me, I'm spending maybe $5,000, $10,000 for a period of 10 years. 5 years. So I'm coming out way ahead. I'm actually not just saving money, but I'm making money compared to the person who is spending tons of money on their car. Now, the next hack that I'm going to share with you that I use a lot is Facebook Marketplace to buy my cars, but more than buying my cars, I usually sell them on there. Rarely have I traded a car in. There was one car I traded in that had some mechanical issues, and I told the dealership, like, hey, I don't want to give this to someone else. I'd rather just give it to you guys who have the ability to take care of this car. I will take the hits because I was not getting what I put into the car. I think I only got like $3,000, $4,000 taken off my next vehicle through that same dealership when I purchased my next car. And I should have got, if I didn't have those issues, I should have easily got $8,000-$9,000 off that vehicle. But I knew it had those mechanical issues that were going to be thousands and thousands of dollars to get fixed. So I just didn't want to give a lemon to someone else. And I knew the car dealership could take care of it just fine. All right, so there it is. So my key is this: I'm trying to spend less than $2,000 or $3,000 a year on maintenance and the cost of a vehicle. So divide up $5,000 or $7,000 per year into 5 years and plus maintenance. Let's say $1,000, $1,500 for maintenance, and that adds up really quick. The savings adds up really quick. And then lastly, I only buy cars when I absolutely need them. And then I sell them on Facebook Marketplace to maximize what I can get out of them. Now, one thing about Facebook Marketplace, you have to remember two things about this. You can do this with Craigslist or any other way of selling to a sign on the side of the road, is be aware there's going to be people who are going to lowball you all the time. And they'll cuss at you if you don't take their offer. It's dumb. I'm not sure how that's attractive. I'm not sure how they actually make money, because who's going to want to work with someone who's going to, fine, if you want to give me a lowball offer, but as soon as you start cussing at me, I'm like, what are you talking about? Like, of course I'm not going to sell it to you. Like, I don't care. I'm in no rush to sell my car. When I sold my car, I was not in a rush. I wanted to sell it, believe me, but I was not in a rush to sell my car. I had plenty of time. I had the money ready to go. So all in, I've been able to do it really well with saving tons of money over a period of years. Now, so I want you to start thinking about these numbers again. So I said, if you go and spend, let's say $800 a month to, let's go a lot higher. Let's say $1,000 a month. You're spending to the bank to pay for your car, right? Let's say you buy a car 2 times over a period of 10 years. You spent almost, 10 times $12,000. That's $120,000 you spent on vehicles over the past 10 years. Versus me, let's just say I'm spending $3,000. Let's take out $500 because for maintenance, certain pieces of maintenance that you would have had to do anyhow on a newer car. Some cars got warranties, but a lot of cars don't either. So let's just say I'm spending $2,000 a month, a year, for my cars. So 2,000 times 10, that's like $20,000. So you're spending an extra $100,000 more in a 10-year period than I am. I'm making bank off those cars. And I'm just giving you the blueprint, the hidden guidebook, if you want to say how I can actually make bank off my cars. If this helps, click the link down below where it says like, and also subscribe to this channel. Again, sorry for the portrait view and not the horizontal. For some reason, the YouTube app is not working correctly. I've heard other people, other streamers on YouTube complain about it too. The YouTube app is not working correctly for a horizontal view. I was going to try and do today, but I couldn't. The second one, sorry for my mess, as you know. But that's called investing. You have to get your hands dirty sometimes. So with that said, like, subscribe, check out the financial freedom pathway blueprint down below. It's all yours for free.